Good morning. As you have hopefully heard by now, the theme of this year's commitment campaign is Whole Faith. And we're inviting our membership to share all the gifts that God has entrusted to us. This morning, as Rebecca mentioned, actually kicks off a sermon series that is going to explore what it means to commit our whole faith. And so we're putting an emphasis on the time, on contributing not only our treasure but also our time and talents, which I hope we'll find is while we can explore it for 4 weeks, I hope you'll find it's actually quite simple when you get down to practice. I've shared a story last week at the commitment brunch, so if you've heard this, it may be remedial, but I hope you'll indulge me here. When I was first asked to co-chair the commitment campaign, my initial reaction was, surely there are members of this church who would be better suited for this than I am. I'm not the largest benefactor of the church. I'm probably not that well-known member of the church. But upon reflection, I agreed, because I try to make it a point when I'm asked to do something to always say yes. I've found that if someone asks you to do something, it typically means that not only do they have a need, but they've identified in you a talent or a skill set that they think suitable to that task. And if you'll say yes, often you'll find out things about yourself that you didn't even know, or maybe you have a skill that wasn't immediately apparent to you. It's a habit my wife finds truly annoying, that I'll say yes to most anything, but here we are. And at Trinity, there are truly so many opportunities for you to say yes. We need people to usher, and we need acolytes, and people to teach Sunday school, and people to regularly attend Sunday school. And we have jobs that are small but meaningful, and we have needs for things that are visible and things that go unseen. There's one year at the children's Christmas pageant, I was asked to watch the donkey. So if they're jobs that nobody appreciates until things go wrong. But when we say yes, we're serving others, and when we say yes, we're enriching our fellow congregants' experience, and we're fostering a love for our church. And when we say yes, we're taking care of our friends and our neighbors. There was a recent Sunday service when I sat out there, like some of the parents I'm looking at now with my children, and I know a lot of you have been there before. You're following the order of worship, and you're just hoping they keep it together for the whole hour. You're ticking off as we make the way through. But when the call to give arrived, I do what I do most Sundays in preparation. I reach into my wallet and I give each of my children a couple of dollars, because I've always thought it was important that they see and feel that we make contributions to the church. Even though they're modest amounts, I think it's important that our children understand that the church doesn't just exist without each and every one of us making contributions. But as children often do, they surprise you, and my 10-year-old looked up at me and he said, "Dad, do we pay to get in here?" I said, "Well, shh, but no. And of course, we all know there aren't any membership dues, and we don't charge for admission. But it was a question that so often, as happens when your children talk to you, it triggers a thought, and it triggered me to think deliberately about the reasons why our family gives. And the reasons we offer our time and our modest talents and our financial resources in support of Trinity is because we recognize those offerings support worship and music and pastoral care and the spiritual and physical structure of our church. And it supports our families and our children and our elderly, and later this afternoon, our pets, and the community beyond our congregation. And we support Trinity because we know that Trinity supports us. So, again, this year's campaign is an invitation to support the good that Trinity nurtures in and around our congregation. So this commitment season, I hope that you will thoughtfully consider the many ways that your whole faith is so very valuable to our church. Thank you.
I love what Tom said about trying to say yes more often. We absolutely need that. And I'm going to talk to you about the other side of that coin, which is Don't wait to be asked before you say yes. You saw me come from the choir a moment ago, and that's been my usual seat since about 2009. It fills my soul to sing in the choir. For years, my husband and I gave our time and our talent singing in the choir, thinking that that was enough, but we didn't give our treasures. I was under the false belief that Trinity had a handful of members who gave large gifts that were more than enough to fund the church's budget, so my small gift wasn't important and wouldn't be missed. But that is not the case at all. We do have some very generous members who give far more than I ever could. But that doesn't diminish my smaller gift, because God demands each of us give our whole selves, from the smallest gift to the largest, and everything in between. Commitment season used to feel like some vague request to someone, but not to me, because I didn't really think I had enough to give. But somewhere along the way, someone pointed out that every gift matters, no matter the size. Each of us needs to step up to be the joyful, responsible stewards that God's asked us to be. It was like somebody had held a mirror up to my face, and I did not like what I saw. I was holding back. I was embarrassed that I'd waited so long to be fully involved. And I was embarrassed that I had waited to be asked. So we made a small pledge, and it made me feel connected to Trinity in a way that I had never felt before. It energized me to know that I was doing my part, and it made me even more joyful to give my time and my talents, and it still does. If you've never given your whole self to Trinity before, you can start small. Ask to staff an event. Ask to watch the donkey. See if there's a committee where your talents can be helpful. Make a small pledge and see how that feels. I bet it all makes you feel more joyful and more connected to your church family. Thank you in advance for returning to God what He has entrusted to us, and for committing your whole selves to Him without being asked. And if you are waiting to be asked, consider this that moment. We are asking. Say yes. Give your time. Give your talents. And give your treasure. Every gift is important, no matter the size, and we have immense gratitude for each and every gift. Thank you.